Sometimes the best games you'll see are not by the best players. Sometimes you're going to see a difference in class. One player rated 2147, let's say, but then the other dude, he just rated 500 points higher. This is the FIDE World Cup. I want to show you two games, and we are going to see the difference in skill level. So first up, with the black pieces, we have Sindarov, 17-year-old from Uzbekistan. And here we have the King's Indian defense. White plays the bishop early out to f4. Black sets up with d6. The reason he does that is because you want to strike in the center with either c5 or e5. That's exactly what happens. c5. The previous move, you might be wondering why I put the queen on this square, is because the queen and bishop set up a battery. This is what White wants to do, trade off the King's Indian bishop. Now, before this trade happens, Sindarov trades in the center. You've got to get your pieces into the game. And one of the best ways to do that is by doing a pawn break. Take in the center. Next move looks very difficult to make. You actually take the bishop, inviting the queen in. This is not an easy move to make, but Sindarov understands this position better. Challenge the knight. Turns out, I mean, so what? If you've got a queen just hanging around, you're going to kick it away. Knight g4. The queen can retreat. And class move here. I mean, not class move. The queen retreats. Knight takes knight played. Now, one bad thing about this is, well, this attack still happens. The guy moves back, and now queen a5. This position is absolutely fantastic for black. Let me explain how so. There's pressure from the queen. There can be pressure from the rook. The knight can actually just come back. The bishop can come in the game as well. And you know what? Let's go blue again. The other rook can join in the party as well. As you can see, so many arrows represent so many ideas. I really do not like the fact that the king is on the right. h3, you attack the knight, but it's going to a good square anyway. That king really should be on the king side. Rook b8, lots of ideas as pointed out before. 1, 2, and you know what? I mentioned this route, but you can go the other way. Where, yeah, the knight puts pressure on the c4 pawn. Bishop e6. f4, hitting the knight. Now, when this attack happens, you guys might be thinking, first thing, gotta move the knight, right? You have to move the knight. Wrong. You counterattack. Hit the queen first, and then turns out the knight can take on c4. This was another choice, but I think you just attack the queen. You can even just move the knight away. I don't really mind. Knight here, then here, or even here. You can always attack this queen. And here, you know what? You want to attack it, fine. Then do this, and then just reroute the knight. Looks pretty good to me. Back to the game. You attack the queen. Take on c4. So white is now down a pawn. You hit the bishop, it drops back, and now you're about to be down even more. I mean, this position looks toast, really. It looks toast. The king doesn't have a safe spot. Knight d5. White wants to swap pieces off, but this is a dream situation. Because when you swap pieces off, the higher class player should be able to show the difference in his ability. Knight d5 is not a great move. Now the queen's come off. This knight is dangerous. It is more dangerous than the bishop, so they come off, and now a5. Normal move. This is an isolated pawn. You want to get rid of it, and the best way to do that is just to advance it, offering a trade. The trade happens, and then the structure. Black structure is so healthy. All 6 pawns defend each other. That's one island. That's one island and another. So black actually has one island because all the pawns are surrounding each other, whereas white has 3. Offering a rook trade, but this only suits black. You've thrown a check. You try to control more squares, but now the king comes in. The king comes in, it's 6 against 5, and we're going to see just a rook endgame, just finish it off. So many moves to make, so many pawn pushes, a pawn trade happens. Now you might go after f5, defend it for a move. Maybe the king can rotate. That's what I was thinking. King now parks itself on e6, then the rook can do something. King moves, fix the pawns. This king has just gone on a journey, but it hasn't really worked because after the king moves, rook b4, and that pawn is gone. You have two future queens. The king is actually stranded. There could be some mating ideas if the king doesn't actually get back in the game. You're going to just push these pawns, really. That king is totally stranded on your right. It's over, man. It's over. Push, king c6. You can't stop it. That's a normal trick. You can't push, or else you lose your pawn. So you just take a step back, control the square, check, still control the square, game over. He resigned because after this you just push, and there is no way to stop yourself getting a queen. You're gonna be a rook down, game over. So that's the first game. You can see the difference in class. Next one. White is rated 2288, very good rating. But black is much higher rated. Arjan Tari, Norway number 2, 2641, a gigantic difference already. That's what happens in round 1 of the FIDE World Cup. A grandmaster might get paired against someone who's just a normal player. Let's see what happens. Now already, you've got black pieces. You're much higher rated. You're going to play a top opening, and Sicilian, one of the best ways to play. You already create an imbalance. You control a white square, I control a black square. You hit the knight, and a great way to play, I've played this setup before, you attack the bishop, and then you block it. You just blunt this bishop straight away. White offers a trade, fair enough, because this knight looks pretty dangerous, and you go a6. That's the setup at the moment. Black is actually controlling black and white squares. The knights come off. Cool move here. Bear this idea in your own games. These are called tempo moves. A normal move is maybe to get the bishop out, so then you defend it. Even queen here might be okay. Let's throw in a few tempo moves. I'm going to hit the bishop first. I'm going to hit a more important pawn. So if you take, I'm going to take. And this bishop is now so strong. This bishop is rubbish. And we're going to see it continue to be rubbish throughout the game. So we're not going to make that trade pawn for pawn. No. White defends the center, and now we have to defend. Knight e7, cool move, because after f4 you need to go f5. If this capture happens, this is really the structure. You want to make sure this bishop continues to be rubbish in the game. Let's go back a little bit. We're going to castle, and king's in the corner, and the rook swings over. Why not? Start an attack. Lock it up. Hit the pawn, you defend. You hold it down. You defend all your pawns, swing the rook over. And cool move, you want to get the queen in. The knight is in the way. Let's just move it out the way. Knight g8. If this capture happens, queen h4 is gone. It is game over. If you go here, we use the pin. We can actually take on h3, and then it is mate. Knight g8. Queen h4 anyway, and the knight comes in. The knight was actually not on a great square, and the knight actually has a chance to jump in the position. Knight g4, using the pin. Beautiful position. Queen actually gets out the way because this was pretty annoying. There could be some nasty, it's just some nasty jump from the knight. So Arjan gets out the way. Rook f8, because we can't take the knight. That's illegal. That's ill-advised because you just chuck your queen. Yeah, it's just difference in class, really. That's why I'm making this video, just to show you guys. King g1, time to blast open the position. Let's put a knight in the center, right in the heart of the white position. The rook moves, and now g5. Absolutely gorgeous position. So what do we have here? Pawn breaks that work in black's favor. Every piece is in the attack. All the minor pieces, all the majors are in, And white is actually huddled up. That bishop has been rubbish the whole game thanks to these pawns, just restricting it. You can see all the white pieces are within this 3x3 grid. This is looking super promising for black. A capture happens, but now we just get the queen in the game. And here, if you're not sure what to do, you could just play a cool move like that. Take, take. That bishop is trapped. The queen is gone. Let's go back a couple moves. Knight f1, take on e4. Why? Discovered attack. You just get the pieces in the game. Queen g3 played. Can't take. Bishop is there. Queen g3. A trade has been offered. And I think this is a bit harsh, this trade. Because it still leads to a winning position. Now, it might not be as winning as the other choice, but it's still a pretty good move. The capture happens. Take on g2. Class move. Class move. You might take this way. I think we're still good. Black's position is crushing. Get the rook in the game. Get the rook in the game. Maybe swing that over. Actually, we're going to take on g2 as well. So, turns out Ian played a flashy move. I don't blame him, because if tactics work, then go for it. Sacrifice a knight in beautiful style. What's the point? We're going to go check. You hit the rook. And it's a discovered check from the bishop. You block with the rook. If you play this take, this capture, white might be finding a way in the game, because you've got knight and bishop for the rook. Ian doesn't do this. Top players, they don't tend to give their lower rated opponent chances. They're going to calculate further. And we're going to see the difference in class. Rook e4, white blocks, and now d2 hit the rook. Okay, well, same thing, you take, but absolutely class move here. Rook g6. If white played a nothing move, you actually take with check. You actually just win the rook. You can't take back due to the pin. If we go back here, rook g6. If you move the king, well, rook can actually take the bishop. You can even do this. You can go check and then this. You're probably still winning, but I'd rather just win the rook straight away. So after this move, white resigned. There's no good move here. No defensive move. And you're going to drop a lot of material, so game over. You can't move the king anyway. Even if you go here, you can actually play this one. That's a fancy one. Why not use the pin on the F file this time? So because of that, you're going to be down so much material. The guy just resigned. Welcome to the FIDE World Cup. In round one, these are some of the games we saw, where one player just totally outclasses the other player because they're 400 points higher rated, 500 points higher. And that's what this video was all about. Welcome to the FIDE Chess World Cup. I'll see you later.